Sequoia. I'm reading from my new book. It's called Shooting Stars, and this performance is called My Cape, which I'm wearing tonight. My cape. I've not always fit in. I've battled my shyness for much of my early life, and such a focus on it has allowed me to become incredibly personable today. My most memorable run-in with shyness was my introduction to school. I was in kindergarten, being brought to school by my mom and my dad and my grandma, and I felt remarkably unsafe. I'd hide behind my parental figures, and I was just not socializing. Simply the idea of being around in a setting with a bunch of kids I didn't know was really foreign to me, because I lived in a rural town, and it was rare for me to be around other kids, especially to this magnitude. My parents recognized this. They each had their approaches to help me through it. All of them were helpful. My dad told me I should just be myself. He let me be myself. And my mom welcomed me with her big heart. And my grandma, she had a stroke of genius. She sewed a red silk cape for me. And she gave it to me and said that I could be courageous in my cape. There it is, the red silk cape. I could be courageous in this cape. No one would hurt me, and I had nothing to fear with it on. From then on, I just never took off the cape. I was always wearing it. I attached myself to it and all that it stood for. I would have to be dead asleep if my grandma were to get it off to me to wash it. I went to school proud as can be with my superhero cape on. And I began socializing and interacting with the other kids. I stood up for kids getting bullied because I was now a superhero. And that's what superheroes did. I interacted with anyone, and I was given the courage to be me. I can't thank my support team enough, because that socializing dissolved the shyness that would have caused me to hide from the world. I was seen for who I was in my red cape, and I was free to express myself entirely. I made friends with most of the kids, and before long, the other boys went home telling their parents about my cape, said that they wanted one too. From then on, every boy on the playground was wearing a cape. It was a sight to see us all. I was just the unofficial leader. We were all wearing capes, and we were all free from fear, doing what was right like superheroes. At some point, I had outgrown my cape. I no longer had a need for it. I was socializing just fine. I was courageous. I was able to socialize, and it felt like my shyness had lifted. I went a long time without a need for a cape. In fact, nearly forgetting about my cape altogether. Once I became an adult, grew up, my mind was equipped to understand the full magnitude of this world. I had just come off the identity search of my late teens, and I felt that the eyes of the world were on me. I didn't know who I was. And then in the midst of this uncertainty, I felt my shyness creep back. At the time, I was attached to wearing fanny packs. They kept all my things in one place, protected by a zipper, which was crucial from my active lifestyle. And it was my dad who wore fanny packs for as long as I've known him. His wisdom to me was to just be myself, be me. He explained that I could be a poor expression of someone else, or I could be the best expression of me. At this time, that was just what I needed. I just needed to be myself. I needed to accept myself for who I was. And simple as that, my identity crisis was resolved. I didn't need to conform myself to the labels or groups, but instead be the unhindered me. It was my fanny pack and my cape that embodied this. I found that I fit in by being different. There were numerous groups that I was friends with, and I was not confined to the image that was imposed on me. In fact, fanny packs and wearing capes out in public, it's a little different. And honestly, so few wear them, which boggles my mind because the utility and the courage that they provide is unparalleled. That being said, they have a stigma of only being worn by little boys, or fanny packs only being worn by soccer moms and and old men. Personally, it's my old dad that wore the fanny packs. But you see, it's these associations that we make with things that didn't interest me. I was above the image being imposed on me. I was going to give it my own image, and I was once again invincible. The opinions of others couldn't hurt me. I had nothing to fear. I was free to be my courageous self. I was united with my cape in a different form.